Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Coker. How much do New Hampshire businesses depend on immigrants? Well, we're going to talk about that with my guest in a minute, but let's look at some facts first of immigrants in New Hampshire. Immigration facts from 2015, 75,000 foreign-born residents, 6% of the New Hampshire population. It's 13% in the U.S. 62% enrolled in schools and colleges, 8% on public assistance. Now, foreign-born, what countries do they come from? What parts of the world? Asia, 34%. Europe, 25%, Latin America, 21%, Canada, 14%, and Africa, 6%. And where have they settled in New Hampshire? The Manchester area, 15%, Nashua area, 9%, Seacoast area, 4%, Salem, Rockingham County, 4%, and actually Concord has begun to see an influx of immigrants since 2014. With me to talk about all this are two people who know this subject pretty well. Tracy Hatch, who's president of the Greater Nashua Chamber of Commerce. Welcome.
Thank you, Fred.
And John Wilson, president and partner of Goff Wilson Law Firm and the global law firm, global, because you have an office in Paris as well as New Hampshire,
yes,
right?
Thank you, Fred. Yes.
And you specialize in immigration, so
yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Is this population growing in New Hampshire, especially given the policies that have been put in place in the last few months in this country?
I think the population has been growing, and there's a concern that it's going to flatten because of some of the immigration procedures and policies that are being put into place, and that has a negative impact for our businesses in New Hampshire looking to hire international workers.
Question, John.
Well, I get a lot of clients that call me, for example, hospitality, restaurants, hotels, landscapers, construction. They cannot find the people to work for them because of tightening of the immigration rules.
Tightening of the immigration rules. Give me some examples of the kind of businesses you're talking about.
Well, let's suppose we have a hotel that has rooms that they can't lease out right now in the middle of the summertime because they don't have somebody to clean the rooms.
Right, as simple as that.
As simple as that.
H-1B visas. That is, and let's put that graphic up. Here is an H-1B visa graphic, and it has to do with the number of visas in New Hampshire in 2016, H-1B visas, 1,314. Those are visas that allow foreign workers to come in and work in the United States. Those go very fast, don't they, John, once they're allowed by the State Department and once they're put out there for...
Right, there are only 85,000 for the entire country. It's a lottery. If you're a first-time person to try to get one of those, you have perhaps a 25% chance of being chosen in the lottery.
Yeah, and those, and that seems to be quite a few, 1,314 for New Hampshire.
I don't think so. No? I think there's a tremendous need for a lot more.
How about that?
Well, one of the reasons why there's a tremendous need for a lot more is if you look at New Hampshire's population in general, without foreign-born people coming into New Hampshire, we would have seen a net population loss, significant net population loss over the last 5 years.
That's a stunning fact.
That is, and it's absolutely true. So as employers are looking to hire, without those foreign-born workers, there's even more, you look at the low unemployment rate right now, but there's even less of a pool to draw from if you take out those foreign-born workers. And
I would just expand on that, on the H-1B, and say that it's just not possible for the employers in New Hampshire to find the quality employees that they need to fill the high-tech positions.
John, how much about authorized and unauthorized immigrants? We have both categories. Just talk about that.
Well, of course, across the United States, you have people that are undocumented working here in the United States. And that's a problem. That's an issue. But there was a path for them. We were on a path with a former administration, and we're off that path now. We can't get those people anymore.
And businesses are finding some of their employees are leaving. That's another trend, isn't it?
We have seen that, mostly anecdotal at this point, but there certainly are people in the Greater Nashua area who are leaving the area because they feel they can't rely on being able to be here.
And they're going back to their native country?
They're going back to their own country or to Canada, but outside of the United States.
John, you had an example of a manufacturer, I think, that has lost some employees, foreign-born.
Yes, in New Hampshire, they lost approximately 20 out of 50 employees because they were undocumented. They did the right thing. They went through and they terminated them.
We could talk about this a long time, but I want to thank you both. You both know this subject well. Tracy Hatch, who's president of the Greater Nashua Chamber of Commerce, and John Wilson, president and partner of Goff Wilson Law Firm, a global law firm for immigration. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Fred.
And if you want to look at those numbers again and listen to that chatter among us, you can go to WMUR.com, go to menu on the top left of the website, click on local news, and then scroll down to New Hampshire's business.